Hello, friends. I'm going to click around on my screen, get situated here. I see Lisa is here. Hi, Lisa. Hi, whoever else is here. Let me know who you are in the comments. Introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do. I would love to know. Hi, Sarah. Yay, so glad you're here. So I started making slides for this, and then I decided I didn't want to make slides. I just wanted to sit down and chat with you guys about what you're feeling, how you're feeling about online marketing this week, last week, what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and how we can make a plan to help you move forward with a strategy for online marketing. So, I've got lots of notes, but no slides. So, if there's ever anything that you want me to repeat as we go through this, just let me know. I really just want to kind of make this like sit down, have some Starbucks with you, just pretend like we're chatting over some coffee about online marketing and everything that's happening right now. So, awesome. I've got all my tabs, all my screens. I think I'm ready if you guys are ready. So, Lisa, Sarah, I know who you two are, but let everybody else know who you are, what you do in the comments, and let's get going. So the goal for this really is, like I said, we're going to set some goals for your marketing, your online marketing. A lot of times, at least for me, when I get stressed out, it's just kind of like I just put stuff out there without making a plan and goals. So we're going to kind of go back to the basics today and set some goals, and then I'm gonna share some marketing ground rules with you, and then we're gonna analyze your own online marketing platforms, because how can you make a plan if you don't know what's working or not working, right? And then we're gonna come up with some action steps that you can take to make things happen in your online marketing. So, hello, Anthony, hip hop artist from Chicago. Awesome. When are your new singles coming out? Let us know. Lisa is a singer-songwriter. Yes, hi, Lisa. Perfect. Thank you all for sharing. Okay, so I'm gonna move my little sticky notes over here. Okay. So as you're all introducing yourself, let's just talk for a minute about the comparison, like getting into the comparison trap online. I feel like, at least for me this week, every time I've signed into social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, some musician is going live. I don't know how that has felt to you guys. I'm not a musician, so I'm not feeling the pressure to go live and share my music. But I want to know, we've got a lot of musicians on here today. Perfect. Valentine, Master of Arts Management program. Karina, a new single. Awesome. So I just want to know if you guys have felt that comparison trap. Have you felt like you needed to do what everybody else is doing it just because everybody else is doing it? It seems like everybody's being pulled off the road, and now the thing to do is to go live and stream your music. So I want to know if that's kind of like, if you've fallen into that, how it's worked for you, what you're feeling. Tell me all the things I want to know. So my whole spiel is that online marketing, we're all here because we want to know the secret, right? But the secret is you. People follow you because they want to see who you are, see what you're doing. They want to connect with the true you. And that is how you're going to break through in online marketing, is by being you. So this whole workshop is all about figuring out your authentic marketing plan. I don't have one secret marketing plan that's going to work for everybody. This is about figuring out who you are, what your goals are, and how you are going to spread your message in the best way for you. So I just want you to realize and kind of remind you that just because you see someone else doing something online, or you see everybody else doing something online, doesn't mean that necessarily is the right fit for you. So I just want to give that little reminder right up front. And then we'll kind of go into and prove my point there as we go. So awesome. I see some more of you sharing in here. Bryce, thank you for joining in again. Karina says, performing in the community helps to connect with others and share music, but now it's a little difficult. Yes, for sure. So I hope this workshop gives you some new ideas and some new goals to reach towards while we're all at home. So first, what we're going to do is set goals. I'd say in my little worksheets here, set 5 goals, but since we're live and online, pick however many goals you want. So I know some of you say that you're releasing music on Friday, so maybe that's your goal, getting my music out there. Bryce, I know you said your goal last week was to do your website, so maybe that's your goal. Perfect. So whatever your goal is, you can share it, not share it, whatever you're comfortable doing. I would love to hear your goals, though, if you are comfortable sharing. My whole thought process here is like, how can you share online if you don't have a goal, right? So if you're just aimlessly sharing random things online, that's not going to get you anywhere. So I like to start with setting a goal. Like if your goal is to release your music on Friday, let's make that your goal and stick with it, right? So if going live will help you promote releasing your music on Friday, then that's perfect. But we're going to have to make sure everything that you do from here on out is aligned with that goal. Does that make sense? So if your goal is to release your music on Friday, I want you to go even deeper with that goal. So what are you trying to do with that music? What is your mission behind the song that you're releasing? Really go deep with this goal other than just like release music, okay? I want you to go, like, I'll show you the example I have in my workbook here. So my example was to grow following by X amount by X date, right? So that's great. Numbers and goals and certain deadlines are good. But what is it that you want out of gaining those followers? If you just want followers for followers' sake, that's not going to get you anywhere, right? So my example here is to add a why to it. So gaining followers so I can spread the message of my music and help heal those with broken hearts. So that was my little example. So just take your goal and really give it a why. Why do you want to release that? So Karina says you already released it last Friday. Perfect. So maybe you have a goal that you want it to reach this certain amount of people. So I want you to come up with like, why do you want it to reach those people and how do you want it to influence them or affect them? Awesome. I'm reading through your comments over here. Lisa says her goal is to get more comfortable showing her creative process online rather than just showing things when they're ready. Lisa, I can totally relate to you on that one. But yes, everybody loves the process. It's funny, I share all about my home projects, just like whether I'm painting a room or decorating a room, and everybody loves watching that. But I feel like in my work, in my business, I can't show things until they're done. So that's a really good lesson for me to learn, that people like seeing the messy parts. People like seeing it all come together. So yeah, I love that goal. Valentine says you're preparing music for release right now and gearing for an upcoming industry showcase. That's going to be online now. Anthony, I'm kind of reading these backwards. Release new single in the summer and then second album after that. Awesome. So really take those goals and figure out your why behind those goals. What impact do you want to make with your music? Or what impact do you want to make at that showcase? Okay. So now, whether you picked 1 goal or 5 goals, however many goals, pick the goal that's kind of like, I want to do that, but it kind of scares me goal. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can write these down, save them for later. Or you can come back and watch this. You can watch the replay as soon as this is over. You can just hit replay and rewatch it and kind of skip ahead to this part. But I want you to really sit and think about these few questions here. So, how would it make you feel to accomplish this goal? Or what can you do today to take a step towards achieving this goal? What can you do this month to get closer to the goal? How are you going to celebrate when you accomplish this goal? So that's different from the first one. How is it going to make you feel versus how are you going to actually celebrate? And then I want you to write your goal down in past tense as if you've already accomplished it. So again, you can, maybe the answers are already popping to your mind, but sometimes I know for myself I have to sit down with this page and like really think through it and really figure out what it is I want to accomplish and why and how that's going to make me feel. And once you can really feel into that, sharing about what you're doing becomes so much easier. So, okay, I told you I was going to have some marketing rules along the way. And my first marketing rule for you is before posting on social media, always ask yourself, does this post stay true to my goals and why I make music or why I'm in business for whatever you're in, whoever you are, whatever you do? And if the answer is no, then reconsider sharing. So if you're just sharing to share, we're going to cut that out. So always ask yourself before you share, does this post stay true to my goals and why I make music? Perfect. Okay, so now the next section is called Who Are You Talking To? So do you ever have a hard time coming up with what to say on social media? I will say yes, I personally have myself. So my question to kind of flip this one is, do you ever run out of things to say to your best friend? I'm guessing not. So what I want you to do is think of your social media following as just a big group of your best friends, right? That's really what they are. Your social media followers are your biggest fans, right? They want to see you succeed. They want to know what you're up to, Lisa. They want to see what you're working on. They want to feel like they know you on a personal level. And they are just excited to be around and be part of your journey. So next time you're writing a post or a caption or whatever you're writing, an email, and you blank on what to say, just imagine how you might say it to your best friend, right? It can be really casual. And remember, social media is supposed to be social. So don't talk at your followers. Talk to them and encourage them to respond and talk back to you. That's the whole point, right? So now, marketing rule number 2. When you're writing copy for social media, your website, and your emails, always write with your ideal fan in mind. Now we're going to talk about finding that fan. And first, I want you to tell me in the chat, we're going to talk about your target audience. What kind of person makes up your current audience? I'll tell you a little backstory on how I came up with this exercise while you tell me. So what kind of person follows you on social media right now? Like, how old are they? Are they male or female? What do you know about the people that follow you right now? So I wrote this whole workbook when I worked in artist management, and one of the artists that we were working for, she was in her young, like early 20s, female musician, and she had a lot of older male followers. And I was in charge of her social media and online everything, basically. And I realized this, and not that that's bad, it's just that that's not who she is or was really conveying. So, like, where were all the young females? How were we missing them? Why weren't they around? What could we do differently to attract them and add them to the mix rather than just have all these old men following her, right? So that's why and how I came up with this exercise. So you first have to think, like, who is in my audience right now? Who have I attracted so far? And why is that? And then if it needs to be changed, then let's change that. And if not, congratulations. Um, the first thing, Karina says 18 to 24, slightly more women than men. Karina, is that what you want? Lisa says both genders, mostly 25 to 40, but the ones that interact are younger. Sarah says, are you talking about me? For real, this is the story of my real life. Sarah, no, I'm not talking about you, but I am talking about another Sarah who you know. So yeah, it's a real thing. So really define who your audience is, and now let's go figure out how we can find those younger girls for you, Sarah. So now define your ideal fan. Who is in your ideal audience? So Sarah, if they're not the older men, who are they? How old are they? Are they male or female? Are they single? Are they married? Where do they live? What do they like to do in their free time? These are just like 100 questions that I have for you. Again, you can like jot them down, tell me to repeat them, whatever. I don't expect you to answer them all right now, just kind of giving you food for thought as to how to curate what you're sharing online. So I think I already said, what do they do in their free time? Where do they shop? Who are some influencers they follow? What blogs do they read? Where do they hang out online? Facebook, Instagram, where are they? Snapchat. Do they work? Do they go to school? What is their profession? What is their experience level? And then just anything else that comes to mind. Let me know if you can think of any other questions that I maybe missed in that list. And then after you have your ideal fan base and your current fan base, I want you to compare them and see where the gaps are. Are they similar? Not similar? And then how can you focus on growing that target audience? Cool. Okay. Now let's talk about hashtags, which kind of ties into all of that because it's a great way to, at least on Instagram, find your ideal audience. So I wrote this in 2013? It's been a while. Actually, when I wrote this, I think I had to go back and add, I can't remember, Instagram stories, that's what it was. I was like creating the print version of this workbook and Instagram stories just came out. I think that's what it was. Or no, it was Instagram Insights had just come out. So I had to go back in to my final workbook and add about Instagram Insights, it's kind of crazy to think about how long that's been, but how relevant it still is to go back to the basics of online marketing. So hashtags, I know we all know what hashtags are by now, but I still see people, especially musicians, using them wrong. And I have a line in here and it says, I know it's 2020 and hashtags are not a new strategy, but I still see musicians using hashtags inappropriately. So I'm still including this section because hashtags are not for run-on sentences. So hashtags can be so powerful still today. And if you are not taking advantage of this, I highly recommend tonight when you're watching Netflix, when you're binging whatever you're binging right now, just get out your Instagram and go through relevant hashtags to music or business, whatever you are working on, and just like and comment on people's posts. Like leave a real comment, not just emojis. Let them know that you've read their post, you've checked out who they are. Follow some people if you feel like it, and I promise you will grow your following just by sitting there while you're watching Netflix, by finding people via hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags in one post. I like to put mine in the first comment so it's not all in the caption. So yeah, I recommend that. If you have favorite hashtags that you use on Instagram, put those in the comments so we can all get ideas from each other. And I will give you a couple from my list here. Of course, I'm going to start with hashtag MusicBizBesties. There's over 1,000 posts on that hashtag right now, which is exciting. I have on here, which is kind of sad, hashtag support live music. But I also have, let's see, hashtag indie artist, hashtag acoustic guitar, hashtag support local bands, hashtag singer-songwriter. So let me know which ones you like to use. Hi, Brianna. Have you already included relevant hashtags to search for? I think you tuned in at just the right time. And Lisa says you started doing that on TikTok and it works. Yes, it works. Like I said earlier, social media is about connecting to people, not just talking at them. It's about making a conversation. So if you start that conversation, odds are it will benefit you. So now it's time for marketing rule number 3. Keep all of your handles or your usernames the same. So when you share across platforms or whenever you just share about your social media, if you're speaking it out loud on stage, you can say you can follow me at MusicBizBesties on Facebook and Instagram and blah, 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 blah. So if you haven't already done that, or if you're starting up new accounts, I highly recommend just creating a consistent username. Lisa says, within a week, I grew from 0 to 200 followers on TikTok, people that really interact with my content of the project, the Wash Challenge. That's awesome. Yeah. Social media is all about interacting. That's why I think it's so important to set the goals about what you're trying to accomplish and share, so that when you do share, you can share with intention and strategy. So, okay. I told you we are going to do a little analyzing and tracking. And the whole point behind this is you can only see how far you've come if you keep track of where you started. So I have a spreadsheet that I've been using for I don't know how many years now. I used to be really religious about it. I would track my social numbers every Friday. And that's because that's what I would do when I worked in artist management. I would track our artists' like following and counts and email opens and just any number that I could get my hands on. I had spreadsheets on spreadsheets of all of that. And I know sometimes it feels like you're doing all this work and you're not seeing any growth, but I promise you are, and if you track it, you will see it. But when the numbers just grow week by week, you feel like you're not getting anywhere, right? But when you're able to look like, oh, I went from here to here, that feels so much better than just like this, right? So however you might want to do that, I recommend Google Sheets because you can access it from any device. It's always up to date, easy to use. So just track your numbers. Facebook, your Instagram, Spotify numbers, your emails, TikTok, all the things that you're on. Just make a spreadsheet with all of your social media platforms and just go week by week, or I try to do it month by month now. Just keep track of where you are and what you're doing. I also have a column at the end for notes. So when I was in artist management, it was like, oh, our artist was on Conan this week, so that's why we jumped by this amount. So you can start to see like, oh, TV appearances do this, or sending out an email with a video shot our YouTube up this much. And that's how I really got strategic with what we were doing, because I started correlating why, when I did something, what happened. And so I would start doing things on purpose to get those numbers up. Monica says, what if you kind of hate social media? Monica, why do you hate social media? Okay, so this next little challenge, exercise, or whatever you want to call it, I think it's pretty fun. So open a new tab. You can minimize me for a minute. That's okay. You can keep listening. and Google search yourself. This is something I learned from the record label that we were working with for our artist. They came at us with this digital report, and it included a Google search. What do you want to call it? They came at us with this is what happens when we Google search your artist. Here's all the results that came up. And for me, it was like, oh, there's still a MySpace on there for our artist. This was like 6 years ago. So MySpace was still old, but not as old today. So it's kind of like you get to see what people are seeing when they search for you. People don't just go automatically. They don't just know your website URL. They're going to Google and searching you. So you want to know what they're seeing in those results, right? So I did this for me right before we came on here. I Google searched Music Biz Besties, and was excited and also surprised at a few things. But the first thing that came up was the website, which in my opinion is ideal. And then the Facebook group, which also ideal. And then the Squarespace version of my website came up. And so that's something I'm going to look into this afternoon. Like, why is the editing, like the edited, not edited version, but the version of the URL where I edit it, why is that ranking? That might be something I need to talk to Squarespace about. Like, can you not show this in SEO? This is supposed to be the back end of the website. So that was helpful for me to learn today. And then the Besties Instagram, and then the Spotify playlist, which was kind of a surprise but exciting. And then my personal blog. So Google search yourself. Let me know what comes up in your results. Are you excited about them? Do you see things that you need to change or that you wish weren't there? Let me know what you're seeing in your results. And just like keeping track of your social media numbers, in my actual printed out workbook, I have space for you to come back 6 months later after you've kind of taken care of some of these things and Google search yourself and see how the rankings have changed and what's moved or not moved. Cool. Okay, Monica, I'm going to check in here with you again in the comments. Monica said, what if you hate social media? I much prefer to work on creating and finding it to be a distraction from the things I want to be doing. I also don't find the interactions on social media to be the kinds of interaction I'm normally seeking in life. I totally hear you on that. I love to create. I could write stuff like this all day. And when it comes time to share it, I'm like, oh, here's this thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I spent a lot of time on it. Like, I'd rather just do the creating part. I'm 100% with you on that. But what's the point of creating if we're not going to share it, right? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm reading other things. So for me, what's really helped, Monica, is to schedule out my social media. So I come up with a plan and then I go to Buffer. Have you heard of buffer.com? I schedule out my social media posts for a couple weeks or a month in advance. And that way everything I'm saying has it's consistent, and I don't have to think about it in the moment and like wake up and be like, what am I going to post on social media today? And then my posts go out for me, and then I can spend the time interacting in the comments with people when those come in. So that's kind of how I've approached social media lately, is to plan out what I can in advance and schedule that to automatically go out for me so I can spend the time actually creating the interactions that I want from the content that I have had so much fun creating. I hope that helps. Check out buffer.com. I think you can like connect 10 social media platforms for free. Yeah, Valentine says Buffer is amazing. It really is. Anthony says everything came up in the search except my YouTube videos. Okay, so that's something to note, and we're actually going to talk about YouTube a little bit later on. Brianna says, agree. Are you creating simply for your personal use, Monica, or do you create in order to impact? Yes, exactly. I think a lot of times too, we can create and create and create because it feels like we're doing something, and then we shy away when it comes time to actually share it. So don't let social media be the thing that gets in the way of sharing. Okay, so digital report. So we've got you set up with your spreadsheet to track your followers. We have Google searched yourself. Now we're going to dive in more to the digital report. And this, I told you, in management, I got my hands on every number possible. And these are those numbers. So I don't expect you to go like write them all down right now. But I just want to give you an idea as to all of the things that are out there for you to look at to help you make more strategic and authentic social media plan for you. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you, but you have to look at the numbers, see what your people like, so you know what to give them more of. Okay, so in this section, let's talk about your website analytics, your Facebook insights, your Instagram insights, and your Twitter analytics. And just a little side note, Twitter analytics aren't as easy to access as all the other platforms. All you have to do is go to analytics.twitter.com. And I know that's probably old news by now, but I was super proud of myself when I figured that out. So if you haven't figured that out yet, analytics.twitter.com. Okay, so I'm just going to go through these, read you what I keep track of. You can take from it what you want or not, but just know that all of this, if you look at all these numbers, even if you just dive in after this workshop and just go look at all your numbers, you probably will get lost and you'll probably learn a lot about what people want from you. So for websites, kind of start broad and look at how many users you have on your website per month. And then from there, dive into what they're doing. What are your most popular pages on the website? What are your peak dates? So for me, peak dates always happen when I send out emails with a link to my website, of course, right? But you have to know that. You want more traffic on your website? Okay, well, what's causing that? Maybe send more emails or be more intentional about your emails and including links to where you want people to go. Okay? A lot of websites talk about your top cities. Where are your people? Where are they? What are your top referral sites? Is there a blog that's sending you traffic? I used to go through, if there was a website or a blog or a news outlet or whatever that was sending our artists a lot of traffic, I would just simply email them and say thank you. You know, that's the kind of conversation that I like. Monica, that might make you feel better too. When you really have interactions with people, just say, hey, thanks for shouting me out on your website. It's sending me a lot of traffic. I appreciate it. And then what are your top keywords? If you aren't connected to Google search keywords, I think it's called, then connect your site to that. Email me if you need help. You can see what people are searching in Google, how often they're seeing your website pop up in the search for that keyword, and then how often they're actually clicking on it. So for me, super interesting, at least I think, that my website design website gets a lot of traffic for people searching, musicians searching what to write in their Instagram bio, because I have a couple blog posts about Instagram. So I get a lot of traffic to my website about people looking for Instagram help. Not what I offer, but okay, you know? So how can I make some more blog posts or blog downloads or whatever to catch those people? Okay, now let's talk about Facebook. So there's the total likes and the followers, which a lot of people know those numbers. Those are easy to find and to see, but just seeing the number go up like this or whatever isn't really going to help you very much. So look at your demographic. And then from there, like, who are your people? Where are they? Look at your posts. which posts are performing the best. What's the type of post? Is it a picture? Is it a video? Is it just text? What does the caption say? What's the reach? What's the engagement? What are the reactions? Go find your actual best posts and make note of them. Are they all videos? Are they all Facebook Lives? What are they? And then, of course, when you start seeing those trends, create more of that content. That's how you come up with something that works for you and your audience, instead of just doing something because somebody else is doing it or because I tell you to do it. That's not what I'm about. I'm about helping you figure out what works best for you and your audience. And to do that, you have to do some work. On Facebook, you can also see what the best days and times are to post. So look at that too. So if you do use something like Buffer, go look at the best days and times. Like, don't post on Sunday night if your traffic is down here, and Tuesday night your traffic's up here. Obviously, schedule your post for when people are online. And your people are going to be different than my people, so I can't tell you what time works best because that's going to be unique to your page. Okay, I hope this is giving you some good ideas. Lisa says, one cool new feature for Facebook and Instagram is the Facebook Creator Studio. You can now post from your desktop. Yes. And have y'all tried using you can bold things, you can italicize things. There's all sorts of new features these days. Okay, Instagram Insights. Again, these are very similar to Facebook. Your followers, your reach, your impression, the time of day, the day that people are on, your top posts, the best times and days to post, your top cities, all the same thing. So I won't spend too much time there. Twitter Analytics. Honestly, I deleted all my tweets a couple months ago, so I don't check Twitter Analytics anymore. But that used to show the top and maybe tweet back at that person or send them a message. Just really take note of who's talking about you and talk back. That's really what that's all about. Okay, so that is the digital report. If you're like me, you can definitely get lost in numbers and analytics like that. So I hope that gave you some ideas. Lisa says you can access the Instagram insights from it, which makes it a lot easier from looking on our phones. Yes, that's for sure. Okay. Let's see. But I'm going to kind of quickly hit on this section. It's a little harder to just talk about, but what is your brand style? If you don't have one, I recommend creating one. And when I say brand style, it means everything. It's not just your logo. It's everything from your colors to how you word things to what you say. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little overview of what I have here on my sheets. The first thing is hex codes. These are my hex codes. So every time I make a graphic for anything, I use the exact same colors. These are my codes. These are my fonts. No matter if I'm using Photoshop or Canva or whatever, these are my colors, and I stick to them. That way people recognize my post before they even see it or read it, just by glancing at it. Like, those are Katherine's colors. Here are some for a client I'm currently working with. So make you some hex codes. If you don't know what those are, let me know. Pick fonts. Don't use a million different fonts. Just pick a couple, stick to them for everything. Style and description words. Do you like bold, feminine, dark, monochromatic? What do you like? Pick your style and stick to it. And then I have, if you like to do this, just a piece of paper or maybe Pinterest, make a board, just like make your own mood board for your style. So that way you have a brand, a visual brand that you stick to. Lisa says, that's so good to know, brand styles. Yes, I'm obsessed with brand styles. Brianna on here, I worked with her on her website, and I see her all the time using the fonts and the colors that we picked out when she's still creating her graphics today. So pick those colors, pick those fonts, and stick to them. Anthony, what are hex codes? So hex codes are a 6-digit code for colors. So these are my colors. I'm trying to think about how you can, if you go to, here's what you do. Take your picture, whether that's like your album cover, your single cover, and go to, let me make sure I tell you this right. I think it's color.adobe.com. Yeah, color.adobe.com. And upload your main picture. Whatever picture you featured on your website, or it's your default photo for all your socials. You can upload that directly to color.adobe.com. And I'll type that in the chat. It will give you, I'll show you this screen. I didn't upload a picture, but let's see. It will show you some color schemes, and you can click through like different variations of those color themes. So like I just said, like if you like monochromatic, if you like bright, if you like moody, if you like whatever you want to call it, you can click through the different color styles that are pulled from this picture. So your pictures match your colors, and you can use those across everything and have a very consistent look on social media. Okay. The next section. So now you know, let's kind of recap. We've said a lot of things so far. Let's see if I can even remember. We started with our goals. What are you trying to even say online? Then we talked about who are you trying to talk to? What's your audience look like now? Does that look like who you really want to talk to? We talked about, let's see, your numbers, tracking your numbers, checking your insights. We talked about what your brand looks like. And now we can talk about what you're going to actually post on social media. I have a list of over 100 ideas. I'm not going to read them all to you. But if you were looking for ideas, I will leave you a link to my blog where I've written several posts that have all of these ideas in there. So if you're just stuck, like, what do I even say today on Facebook? What should I post? I've got 100 different social media ideas for you. So that is that. The first 4 items here, it says most importantly, always 1, be yourself. 2, give credit when it's due. If you're sharing pictures, make sure you credit the photographer. 3, have your ideal fan or client in mind so that you can grow your followers. And 4, don't forget to communicate with the audience you already have worked so hard to get and keep around. Okay, lots of social media ideas for you. Okay. Anthony, thank you. I'm glad you're hanging out here today. It's pointless for me to sit here and talk to myself about this, so I'm glad you guys are here and chatting with me. Marketing rule number 4 is run Facebook ads or ads on whatever platform only for content that will bring in money. No need to pay just for likes. Okay, now let's talk about your YouTube channel. Anthony, I know you said that in your Google search results, everything came up except your YouTube video. So let's talk about your YouTube channel. And if you aren't already subscribed to me, you can subscribe to me. I would love that. So, Valentine, thank you. I seriously am just glad that you guys showed up today and you're talking to me in the comments because, like I said, what's the point? I'm here to share with you guys. So, your YouTube channel. How many of you have a YouTube channel? I'm assuming most all of you because you're here talking to me on YouTube. So YouTube is the number 2 search engine, which I think is kind of, I don't know, I never like saying that because to me YouTube and Google are the same, and if Google is the first, then how is YouTube the second? I don't know. To me, it's just another tab. That'd be like saying Google search images is the 3rd search engine. Like, okay. So, and I just made that up. I don't know if that's a fact or not. So if YouTube is the number 2 search engine, we need to take advantage of that, right? So I'm not saying it's not practical at all to post a new video as often as you post on your other social platforms. But what you can do, at least on your current videos, is make sure all your links are up to date, all your descriptions are well written. So again, with my analytics here, my numbers for you to keep track of on YouTube, the number of subscribers, of course, but then come up with some ideas of content to post. So write down some collaboration ideas. You know, YouTube collabs are a big thing. I've never really done them. But if that's your thing, write down some ideas. Or maybe you're more into doing cover songs or talking about a certain topic on YouTube. Write down some of those ideas. Just kind of brain dump all your ideas. Let's see. And then check your most popular video currently and come up with ideas to create more content like that. For me, my most popular video right now is a video that I created about painting my kitchen floors. So here I am over here. My goal is to talk about music business, marketing, and my most popular video that I have not really promoted at all. I posted it the day I went live with it, is the most popular. So it goes to show keywords are so important. So Google search yourself, see, make those search results what you want them to be. Does anyone here have a YouTube channel that's monetized? It used to be super simple. You just kind of applied for it and filled out all the info. But just keep in mind, if you want to monetize, your channel must have at least 4,000 hours of total watch time. That's 4,000 hours of watch time in a 12-month span and a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. Just keep that in mind. Something to know. I was going to say something else about YouTube and I forgot. Oh yeah, saw my sticky note. So Lisa says, yes, the super great tips to edit video descriptions to get up-to-date links. Yes, so my little note here for you today, something that you can do even if you're not creating a new video. Lisa says at least 4,000 hours. Yes, 4,000 watch hours within 12 months. So not 4,000 hours over the whole life of your channel, 4,000 hours within the past 12 months. It's a lot of hours. So we got to get those keywords working. We got to get those descriptions so people can find them. So some work you can do behind the scenes on videos that you already have. Fill out the description. You can write really long descriptions in your videos. Put keywords in there, relevant keywords. Don't just put a whole bunch of fluff in there. Make sure your titles are consistent. Something I see a lot when I'm doing websites for musicians, I pull their music videos over from YouTube to put them on their website, and their titles are all inconsistent. Make sure your titles are consistent. It just like looks good, right? At least for me and my OCD self. Update your banner. You can do that easily and for free on Canva. There's so many templates. Customize your channel homepage. That's my favorite thing to do. There's a video on my channel that's several years old at this point, but other than buttons moving where they probably were at that point, all of that still is very relevant on how to customize your YouTube homepage. The default is to just either show everything that you've liked or watched or uploaded. And so, yeah, not totally ideal. So you can actually curate what your YouTube homepage looks like. If you go to mine, you can see I've got these 3 live workshops that I've done, and then I've got specific playlists of things that I want you to watch. So you can do that on your channel. And I have a video on my channel somewhere to show you how. Okay. Marketing rule number 5. We're getting to the end, guys. Now we're going to talk about email lists really quick. Never ask people to sign up for your newsletter. Newsletters, let's cut that word from the vocabulary. Newsletters are lame. I think we can agree on that. Make your sign-up copy for your email list irresistible. Whether that's offering a free song download or a discount code to your store. Give them something more than a newsletter, because nobody wants to sign up to add more emails to their inbox. So you have to give them something in return for their email address. I'd love to hear who has an email list on here, and if you do, what your incentive is to get people to sign up. I'd love to share ideas on that one. I do personally think the whole sign up for a free song is going out of style, because the last time I signed up to download a free song so I could listen to it was never. I just go to Spotify, right? So we got to keep relevant. Yeah, that's my insight on that one. Okay, let's talk about emails and your conversion rate. People always say the famous phrase, grow an email list because it's ultimately the only thing you have complete control over. Facebook went away, Instagram went away, blah, blah, blah. Sure, but it's also a big deal when someone allows you in their inbox, right? So you need to take advantage of that. The people who are signing up for your email list are your biggest supporters. So you need to make sure you're communicating with them and letting them have some perks of signing up. So let me give you a couple ways to get people to sign up for the email list. I'm getting distracted. I'm reading a lot of things. Elisa has an email list. So you don't really grow the list since you did the crowdfunding. So let me give you a couple ideas on how to get some new people onto your list right now. So 1, activate your Facebook call to action button on your Facebook page. Does everybody know what that is? On your Facebook page, right under your cover photo, you can have a call to action button. And so you can activate that. You can send people to your Facebook group, to whatever you want, but one of the options is to your email list. So that's one way. Post your email sign up form and pin it to the top of your social accounts. So you know how you can pin a post to the top of your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed? Make a post that's like, hey, get my discount code to my store right here, and just pin that to the top so everybody that comes to your profile will see it. And again, you're not asking them for their email, you're giving them something. So number 3, link to your sign up form in your website link on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you can page and then hoping that they take the action that you want them to take. So for my websites, I've created a specific Instagram page for, I think, each one. So if you go to like musicbizbesties.com/Instagram, that's where I send people from the link in my bio. And it just has several buttons. It's like the link tree, but it's custom on my website, so I still get the traffic, and then I send people where I want that way. And then number 4, let's see, where am I? Include a link to your sign up form in your YouTube video description. So there's another YouTube idea for you. 5, add a sign up to the header or footer of your site. A lot of times I put in my clients' websites their email list sign up in the footer or the pre-footer, whatever you want to call it. So it's on every single page of their website. Number 6, add a pop-up subscription box to a page on your website, or to every page on your website, whichever one they hit first. I made a YouTube video about that last week, so if you have a Squarespace website, I did a website tutorial on how to do a pop-up. Um, Offer a free download or discount code in exchange for your fan's email address. Already talked about that one. And number 8, add a splash page to your website with only 2 options, subscribe or enter site. So usually when people go to your homepage, they're bombarded with your whole website. So if you want to grow your email list, just give them 2 options. They get to your website and the splash page comes up and it says subscribe or enter site. And I also recently did a tutorial about that on my channel, so you can find that as well. Check the comments. Monica says, what do you use for your email list? What's the best platform? I personally use ConvertKit. I can send you a link for, there's a link somewhere on Music Biz Besties for a free trial. I switched over a couple years ago from MailChimp because at the time MailChimp didn't have tagging, and I was trying to be more intentional about who I was sending emails to, so I switched to ConvertKit, and I've been really happy with it. I think when I switched, my email list grew by 200%, so I stayed. But MailChimp is a super great way to get started and what I recommend to most people. Valentine, I have an online store for my art and costuming work, and my email list members get priority or exclusive access to special deals and early notice of tour dates and other news. That's awesome. Okay, let me see if I can find, I think I know where this link is to give it to you really fast. Yes, okay. All my deals and discounts on there, and there's actually some special things by people who are on this live right now. So Sarah Spencer, she's got some free songwriting prompts that she wrote just for me to share with my people that she gives away on there. I've got a Squarespace discount code. ConvertKit is on there. Dubsado, if you do more business type things and need some contracts and proposals, I use Dubsado. And then there's also the Performing Artist Pathway online course, little deal and preview from Brianna, who is on here on this link. So yeah, some good things to check out on that link, including ConvertKit. The ConvertKit link should be good, but they have been changing things recently. So if not, just email me, and I will figure out the right link for you. Okay. Marketing rule number 6 is the more value you can add to your email, the more likely people will be to read and engage with it. It's kind of obvious, but when you're writing an email, think less about you and more about the person reading it, which rolls into marketing rule number 7, which is your email will get more opens if you make the subject line about the reader. This is true. I did a split testing on my email last week, and the email subject that won was checking in on you. So make the subject line about the person reading it, and they will open it. Okay. Awesome. That is the end of my workbook. I just have a couple recap pages here. If you guys have any questions for me, that was like an hour of me just like spewing ideas and information at you. If you have any questions for me, now is your time. I know there's a little lag, so while you think of your questions, I will just go through my marketing rules, recap those rules for you. So marketing rule number 1, before posting on social media, always ask yourself, does this post stay true to my goals and why I make music or why I'm in business? Number 2, when creating copy for social media, your website, your emails, always have your ideal fan in mind and write to them. Number 3, keep all your handles the same, so when you share across platforms or in person, the links will work and it's easy to share. Number 4, Run social media ads and sponsored posts only for content that will bring in money. No need to pay just for likes. Number 5, never ask people to sign up for your newsletter. Newsletters are lame. Just make your sign-up copy irresistible. Number 6, the more value you can add to your email, the more likely people will be. It's like the third time I've read this sentence and I can't get it out right. The more likely people will be to read and engage. I might need to rewrite that. Add value to your emails is what I'm trying to say. Number 7, your email will get more opens if you make the subject about your reader. Awesome. Okay. So go engage on Instagram hashtags, update your YouTube descriptions, go to adobecolor.com, color.adobe.com, find your brand palette, analyze all your numbers, go to your insights, make this less about you and more about sharing it, more about what your whole mission is and why you're creating what you're creating and why you're putting it out in the world. So, if you have no questions, that's all I've got for you guys today. Again, thank you so much for showing up and chatting with me live. Really made my day to chat about this with you guys. So I hope it gave you lots of ideas, lots of things to do. Tag me in your posts. Let's stay in touch. I like to hang out on Instagram. You can find me there. Lisa, split testing. What would you do if someone comes to you, say they saw both? So for split testing, at least when I do it through ConvertKit, it manages who it sends to. So it doesn't send both to everybody. It takes a small portion of my email list and sends out my 2 subject lines. And then it gives it a couple hours. It sees which one gets the most opens and then sends the rest of the emails with the winning title. As far as like doing multiple posts, I'd say maybe instead of intentionally posting them at the same time, maybe just 1 week or for a couple weeks, try this one method and the next couple weeks try another and look at your numbers and your analytics and see which one got the more engagement. But yeah, with split testing emails, it does it for you, so not everybody sees both. That makes sense. And if people think you're posting too much, honestly, they'll probably just hide you or unfollow you. They're not going to come to you and tell you. So I don't think, have you ever gone to somebody and been like, you're posting too much? I don't think that people will do that to you. So, hi Jerry, thanks for saying hi. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Perfect. Maybe just one more thing before I shut this off. Everybody leave a link to your, let's do Instagram since I shared my Instagram. This live chat will go away once I end the stream. So pop your Instagram in there. Let's all go follow each other, keep up with each other. Yeah. I'll give you a few seconds to catch up and do that, and then click through everybody else and we can all stay in touch. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this. This is really kind of the not first thing I ever created, but for my business, let me see. I created this workbook. It was the first like real physical thing I ever created for my business. It's what I launched first. When I launched my business, I launched it to an email list of, I don't know, a couple hundred, 200 people maybe. And I remember I launched it while I was on vacation with my husband and my parents. And I sold out of the first box and had to reorder. So this has kind of like been my little business baby from day one, is this this little workbook workshop type deal. So I'm glad you're still really loving it even today, because it's really where I started, and I think going back to the basics is always super helpful. Cool. So I will see you guys later. Subscribe to my channel. This is the third of 3 lives that I'm doing, so I don't have another live planned right now. But if you have suggestions on anything you'd like me to talk more about, let me know. I try to share videos at least once a week, whether that's about music business, social media, or Squarespace. So subscribe, check out the videos that I already have here, and let me know if there's anything you want me to talk more about. And Monica, we're going to get you on the social media bandwagon one day. But I do hope this gave you some ideas, help you set some goals, and really see where you are now and where you want to go. So that is